This morning. I really do appreciate it, and you are doing a very big service as a citizen of the state of Florida, so I do appreciate it. We are here in the case of State of Florida versus Michael LADSON. Mr. LADSON is charged with attempted second-degree murder, and now the judge just went over the preliminary instructions, so I'm not going to reiterate those. But what I will talk about is the evidence that I intend you will see, or I expect for you to see, during the course of this trial. I anticipate that you are going to hear from Deputy Sydney Albrecht that as a member at the time of the Fort Walton Beach Police Department, she was dispatched to a location called Coasters in Fort Walton Beach. Upon arrival, or through that dispatch call, there was a shot or a call for a gunshot. As she arrived, I anticipate that you're going to see on her body camera footage that she went to administer aid to the victim. And that she identified that victim as Mr. Charles Meeks. I also anticipate that you are going to hear testimony in the form or from two eyewitnesses, namely Miss Sarah Washington and Mr. Perry Connolly. I anticipate that you are going to hear that Mr. Connolly is a security guard who was working at Coasters, and that he witnessed, as well as Miss Washington, the defendant, Mr. Michael LADSON, come into Coasters and within moments of entering Coasters, pull out a firearm, point it at the victim, and discharge that firearm. I anticipate that you will also hear from a paramedic who arrived on scene in the name of Gregory Hoffman. I anticipate that he will tell you that the bullet wound went in through the upper chest and exited through the back of the chest. You will see on the body camera that there is a significant amount of blood loss. I also anticipate that you will hear, or you will see, medical records that the victim, when he underwent care at the Fort Walton Beach Medical Center, medical records that were obtained that you will have the ability to view as well. The state believes that after you hear the evidence from the deputies, after you view the firearm that was recovered on scene, that was taken directly from the defendant by Mr. Perry Connolly and given over to law enforcement, that after you see the bullet casing that was fired from the gun, that you will find that the defendant was guilty of attempted second-degree murder, that you will find that he committed that attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. You will find that he discharged that firearm, and the state believes that you will find beyond a reasonable doubt that that discharge caused great bodily harm to the victim, Mr. Charles Meeks. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Riosti.
Thank you, Your Honor. State, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, here we are at jury trial. I'd like to go over again the roles that we play in the trial. I know the judge had gone over that in the instructions, but the state has their role, and it's important to emphasize that the state brought this charge against Mr. LADSON, and it's their job to prove all of the elements beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. The judge also has the role of presiding over the issues of law, and he'll give you the instructions that he mentioned. You'll get a hard copy of that before you go to deliberate. You need to rely on those instructions. They'll explain to you that as a jury, you are the trier of fact. The state's going to present its case by putting on witnesses and introducing evidence. And some of those witnesses will be eyewitnesses, where they were there at the time that this event took place. It's your job to listen to all of the testimony and consider what evidence was submitted, and then weigh it. What evidence was submitted, the amount of evidence, the source of the evidence, and what evidence wasn't submitted, the lack of evidence. The jury instructions will tell you how to go about doing that. Then you'll have to decide whether the state has met the burden of proof as to each one of the elements of the charge and the lesser included charges. Like the ingredients in the recipe of the cheeseburger that that the state had mentioned in voir dire. The state will present some law enforcement officers and attempt to enter some medical testimony. All of that occurred after the fact. The state is going to present 2 eyewitnesses. And so basically it's, to a certain extent, the testimony of these 2 eyewitnesses against Mr. Ladson's plea of not guilty. So, because they were the only ones that saw these events take place and can give you the evidence about what occurred at that time. So, Judge Stone will give you some instructions on how to weigh the testimony of these eyewitnesses. Did they have an opportunity to see what occurred? Did they have a vantage point? Where were they standing? Did they have an accurate memory? Were there inconsistencies with the statements, with their statements, or did they make some errors? Were they honest and straightforward? Did it seem they had an interest, potentially, in how this case should be decided ultimately? Did their testimony agree with each other? At the end of the trial, I'll remind you that reasonable doubt, and we talked a lot about that, but reasonable doubt may arise from the evidence that was presented, conflicts in the evidence, and the lack of evidence. So when you go back to deliberate, if you still have questions in your head about what was presented and whether or not it adds up to proof beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt, then you need to find the defendant not guilty. So there was an alleged gunshot. The state has to prove that event occurred. If you decide after hearing all the evidence that a gunshot did indeed occur, then you have to decide, like the judge has mentioned in the preliminary instructions, whether that gunshot was justified or excusable. So Florida law allows, as the judge has explained, in certain circumstances for the use of deadly force, a shot from a gun, to be considered justified or excusable. And you'll get instructions on what exactly is justifiable use of deadly force, what exactly is excusable homicide, as the judge has already explained, and the limits of those circumstances. So if you come to the conclusion that an individual fired a gun or that Mr. Ladson fired a gun, you will have to make a decision ultimately as to whether or not the discharge of that firearm was justified or excused. So if you have a question, or if you're convinced that it was excusable or justified, then obviously the verdict will be not guilty. But if there's not enough evidence or to show that it wasn't justified, or that it was illegal, or there was enough evidence to give you a question as to whether it was justified or not, and you have a question as to that, also, that's reasonable doubt. Also, you have to come with a verdict of not guilty. So, with that, let's hear the evidence. Thank you.
Mr. Gomez, your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the State would call Deputy Sidney Albrecht.
Deputy Albrecht. And Mr. Riosti, I remind you those microphones at council table are live, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And ladies and gentlemen, one thing I forgot to mention, I try to take all my notes on the computer. I started this when my younger daughter was, said how old-fashioned I was since I was still using one of these and one of these. So when I'm clickety-clicking, I'm not actually on eBay or anything like that. I'm taking notes about the trial.
Apologize, Your Honor. Constantly step to use the restroom, so.
That's all right. We all have to sometimes. I'm going to move your recorder so I can put the microphone up there. Okay. Just keeps me muted all the time. If you remain standing, raise your right hand for me, please. Madam Clerk, swear the witness.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
Please be seated and direct your voice to the microphone you see in front of you. Speak clearly and distinctly. It's important that the jury seated to your left is able to hear and understand what you have to say, and the court reporter in front of you is able to make a good record. Is that okay?
Yes.
And if any of the lawyers object, stop speaking immediately until you receive an instruction on how to proceed. Is that all right? Okay. Mr. Gomez, you may inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Deputy. Can you please state your name for the record?
Sydney Albrecht,
And where are you currently employed?
the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been working there?
It'll be 2 years in August.
Where were you employed on the night of March 26th of 2022?
The Fort Walton Beach Police Department.
Do you recall an incident that occurred at Coasters?
Yes, I do.
It's going to sound crazy, but where is Coasters?
It's on Miracle Strip Parkway in Fort Walton Beach.
Okay, and is that in Okaloosa County?
Yes, it is.
How did you come to be on scene at Coasters?
Got dispatched to a call through our radio and through our computer dispatch for a shots fired call.
Once you got on scene, what was your role while you were on scene?
I was the primary case officer.
Okay. What was the first thing that you did once you got on scene?
As soon as I got on scene, I went inside the front door of the bar, and as soon as I saw the victim who was sitting down on the floor, maybe 5-10 feet inside the door, there were two females, I believe, that were holding a bar towel to a wound on his chest, shoulder area, covered in blood. So I walked over to the two of them, and I had them swap out with me and took over with the shock rag, putting pressure.
Okay. Who was the victim?
Charles Meeks.
What injuries had Mr. Meeks suffered?
He had a through-and-through gunshot wound to his chest near his right shoulder.
And what does through and through mean?
Means the bullet went in and then came back out the other side. It didn't go in and become trapped.
When you were administering aid to the victim, how much blood was there?
There was a substantial amount of blood. We were standing in it. It kind of splattered and looked like it sprayed and splattered a little bit all over the floor. The hand towels that they were using were completely covered in blood.
Now I kind of want to switch over to your investigation. During your investigation on scene, was there a firearm that was ever recovered?
Yes, there was.
Okay. Did you collect that firearm?
Yes, I did.
What did you do with that firearm?
I took it to my vehicle. I put it in a brown paper bag that we used to put evidence in, and then I secured it in the vehicle until I brought it back to the Fort Walton Beach Police Department so it could be placed in evidence.
Okay. Judge, if I may approach.
You may.
Witness.
No, just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, as you just heard, a firearm is going to be displayed. As part of that, I require in my courtroom that prior to a firearm being displayed or used in the courtroom, that my court deputies make certain that the firearm is safe. In this particular case, they've installed a lock that would preclude the firearm from being operable. When you see that, you should not consider that in reaching your verdict. I'm just a stickler for safety in my courtroom, and I want to be certain that no one feels that there's any issue with safety. You may approach the witness.
Deputy Albrecht, I'm handling what is marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit G.
What is that exhibit, or do you want to open that? And what is that exhibit?
It's a firearm.
Is that the firearm that you collected and packaged on the scene and took to the Fort Walton Beach Police Department?
Yes, it is.
Does this firearm appear to be edited or altered or in any way different from the date that you collected it?
Other than the lock that's been added, no.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit Exhibit G into evidence and to publish to the jury at this time.
Objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. The state is asked to publish. That means the state will display to you the exhibit for you briefly to see so that you'll understand the witness's testimony. Most exhibits would be taken to the jury room for you to be able to examine during your deliberations. Firearms and other things that might be either dangerous or biohazards will not be available to you. But during your deliberations, if you wish to see any of such exhibits, you can ask and you'll be brought back to the courtroom where you'll be able to look at them in the courtroom. Bailiff.
Yes, if we can please bring it back to the witness stand. Thank you. In looking at that firearm, can you identify what type of ammunition it uses?
It's a 9mm handgun.
During the course of your investigation, was there any other evidence that was found on the scene?
We located a 9mm shell casing in a foosball table inside the bar.
Okay. Did you collect that shell casing?
Yes, I did.
Where did you take, or what did you do once you collected that shell casing?
The same thing with the firearm. I put it in a brown evidence bag and then in my car and then transported it back to the Fort Walton Beach Police Department.
Okay. Your Honor, if I may approach.
Granted.
Deputy Albrecht, I am now handing you what is marked as State's Exhibit A. Can you open that exhibit and please look at what is inside?
You want me to open it?
Yes, please.
Do you have gloves? It is going to have to be resealed afterwards as well.
There's scissors over there, Bailey. Do you have scissors? Scissors. Counsel, would you please approach, please? And just give us a second, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their property.
You may. And ladies and gentlemen, remember I told you at jury selection that the presence of the court reporter and the clerk were necessary to do my job. The clerk has brought to my attention some issues with the numbering of the exhibits, and that was what this discussion was about. So we're renumbering the exhibits to be consistent with some other things that are going on. Mr. Gomez, and
Your Honor, I've now handed the witness Exhibit I.
all right,
Had to do my alphabet song.
objections?
Well, I need to lay the predicate first, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Have you had an opportunity to view what is located in Exhibit I?
No, I stopped.
Can you locate or view what is in Exhibit I? Now that you've seen it, what is that exhibit?
It's a 9mm shell casing.
Is this the casing that you collected on scene from the foosball table, packaged, and then took to the Fort Walton Beach Police Department?
Yes, it is.
Does that casing appear to be edited or altered or in any way different from the date that you collected it?
No, it does not.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move Exhibit I into evidence, and if we could publish to the jury at this time, Your Honor.
No
Objection.
objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted and will be published to the jury.
Charles, we got it.
Thank you. When you collect evidence, what is the standard procedure for getting that evidence from an alleged crime scene back to the Fort Walton Beach Police Department?
It'll go in, depending on what it is, either a paper bag or a plastic bag, and then it'll be secured into our patrol vehicles. We'll drive it back to the police department, and then back at the police department, we have a booking area where people are booked prior to being transported to the county jail. And inside the booking area, there is a evidence room that has the evidence tape and packaging materials like the firearm box. So we'll package it, and then there's a little blue card that gets filled out, that gets submitted with it. It just says the case number, what it is. And then there's a drop box or locked lockers where the evidence is placed into, and then there's also an electronic version of the card that we put the evidence information on.
Is the area that the evidence goes into, is that a secure location?
Yes, it is.
Do you have to sign in and out to be able to go in and get evidence out of there?
So once the evidence is submitted into the Dropbox or the locker, it can only be removed by the evidence technician, and then they will take it upstairs to the evidence storage area, which is also secure. If you want something out of there, you have to sign it in and out and have it approved with the evidence technician.
During the course of your investigation, did you have the opportunity to speak to witnesses?
Yes, I did.
Do you know about how many people actually saw the incident? I don't mean were near it, but actually saw it.
There were two that wrote a statement and then a verbal statement about seeing it, and then another that heard it and saw the second half.
Based on your investigation, how many times was the gun fired?
Just once.
During the course of your investigation, did you check to see if there were any surveillance videos?
We did. I think we talked to the Coaster staff that were there that night, and they advised there were no cameras in that section of the bar or pointing to that area where the incident took place.
Were there any fingerprints that were collected from the gun?
We did not collect any fingerprints from the gun.
Why not?
Typically, if we find a gun that we believe had been used in a shooting and we find it separate from a suspect, we'll try to run for DNA or fingerprints to try to figure out who had the gun and where it came from. This incident and this evening, we had an idea where it came from and several statements that put it with Michael LADSON, so we didn't run prints since we already had him present as well.
Were you wearing a body camera while on the scene?
Yes, I was.
Okay. I am handing you what is marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit J. Do you recognize that envelope and that USB?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
I signed the envelope this morning.
Have you reviewed the video that is on the USB?
Yes, I have.
Does that video appear to be edited or altered or any different from the date of that incident?
No.
Your Honor, this time the state would move to admit Exhibit J into evidence and to publish to the jury at this time.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Your Honor, I believe we need to give instruction 2.2.
Members of the jury, you're about to view a video recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you view and consider the evidence. Counsel, let me know when you're prepared.
Just want to make sure that. I'm ready, Your Honor.
You ready? Right here is the exit. And switch. And back up.
Your Honor, I'm going to move forward just for the sake of publishing some of this, but this will be available to the jury, Your Honor. Deputy, how long, once you received the call from dispatch, to when you arrived on scene? Approximately, I know it's been about 3 years.
I think it was only a few minutes.
Your Honor, the state has no further questions for this witness at this time.
Mr. Riasti, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. You were the senior officer on the scene there,
No, I was not.
but you were were you the officer in charge you had mentioned?
I was the case officer, yes.
So was it your responsibility to, if you wanted to have the weapon tested for gunshot residue, or the victim tested for, strike that, Mr. LADSON tested for gunshot residue, or the weapon tested for fingerprints or DNA, would you have been the officer to order that?
I would have, or any of the other senior officers could have.
And you didn't order fingerprints on the weapon,
No, I did not.
nor DNA testing,
No, I did not.
nor gunshot residue tests for the defendant?
No, I did not.
The shell casing, was there a bullet found ever? The actual expenditure of the round that was expended?
No, I don't believe there was.
The gunshot, the shell casing that has been introduced, could that have been tested to see if it matched or was fired from the weapon?
It could have been sent to FDLE to do a ballistics review.
Did you order that?
No, I did not.
Did you ask any of the patrons there or the staff at the bar whether or not they had any weapons other than the weapon that was handed to you?
I don't recall. I don't believe I did.
Have you ever been to a scene where the bartenders have weapons behind the bar?
Have I? No.
Could it have been possible that the bartender had a weapon?
It could be possible.
Could it have been possible for the bouncer or the security guard to have had a weapon?
Could be possible.
Did you ask those questions as to whether or not they had weapons?
I don't believe I did, no.
And it could have, if there was a weapon found, and you had ordered ballistics, it could have confirmed or denied whether or not that shell casing had come from that particular weapon or another weapon that had been on the scene.
Yes.
Was Mr. LADSON, when you arrested him, injured in any form or fashion?
He had a small laceration. I believe it was on his forehead.
And did you ask whether he needed medical attention?
I did.
And what did he state?
He said no.
Did you, how would you describe the firearm that was put into evidence?
It's an SCCY 9mm black semi-automatic pistol.
You would describe it as black.
Yes.
When you arrived, walk me through how you got the gun in your possession. Was it handed to you by an individual? Was it laying on the ground?
I believe Officer Houston had it initially. And then I think he set it, he was also with Mr. LADSON and then set it down, and then I collected it and then put it in the car.
So it had already been in the possession of law enforcement officers when you had arrived, other law enforcement officers?
I believe so.
You mentioned that it was a gunshot wound. How do you know it was a gunshot wound?
I've seen several gunshot wounds. It was
Appear-
consistent with the appearance of a gunshot wound in my experience.
Nine millimeter, how many, did you also collect the magazine that was in the weapon? Let me rephrase that. When you collected the firearm at the scene, did it have a magazine in the gun already?
Yes.
Did you inspect the weapon?
Yes. As in, did I check if it was loaded?
Was it loaded? How many rounds were in the magazine? Were there other rounds that were collected or found at the scene? Did you make any of those observations?
There were no rounds in the magazine, and there was no round in the chamber, and there were no other rounds located at the scene other than the shell casing that was located in the foosball table.
So, could it have been assumed that Mr. Ladson, if he did indeed use that weapon, that there was only one round in the chamber then?
That would be what I would assume, yes.
Did you ascertain where the event took place inside the bar?
Near the pool table, it's about 5-10 feet inside the front door, and the pool table, if you walk in the front door, pool table is a little bit to your left.
Where was the foosball table located?
If you walk in the front door, the foosball table was a little bit to the right.
Were there photos taken of the bar and the scene at the time of during this evening?
There should be photos in evidence.com from the scene. I did not collect them, though.
You would defer to the photos as to the location of the pool tables and the location of the foosball table in relation to the entryway and the poles that were there in the bar.
I think photos would show it better than I can explain it.
Okay. I believe that's all the questions I have.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. How many cases have you worked involving weapons or firearms, approximately?
Just in, like, any case involving a firearm? Hundreds.
And in some of those cases, have you had the opportunity to test for fingerprints on firearms?
I have.
Okay. How often are you successfully able to actually lift a print from a firearm?
So we aren't actually the ones that would lift the print from the firearm. If we wanted to attempt a latent print or DNA from a firearm, we would send that and request our evidence tech to send that to FDLE. I've only maybe done that a couple times, and I don't know if I've ever successfully gotten either DNA or a print back.
So it's safe to say it's not exactly like the TV shows that you see, right?
Not at all.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Is the witness released?
Yes, Your Honor, and I do not think she will need to be recalled.
Mr. Riasti, is the witness released?
I believe she can be released, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. You're released. Your next witness, please.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would call Officer James Houston.
James Houston, please. Good morning, officer. If you remain standing and raise your right hand, Madam Clerk, will you swear the witness?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. Please be seated and direct your voice to that microphone you see in front of you. Speak clearly and distinctly. It's important we're all to hear and understand what you say, especially the jury seated to your left, and also the court reporter who's taking down everything we say. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
And if the lawyers object, stop speaking immediately until I give you an instruction how to proceed. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gomez.
Good morning, officer. Can you please state your name for the record?
James E. Houston, Jr.,
Okay. And where are you employed?
Fort Walton Beach Police Department.
Okay. How long have you been employed there?
Be 14 years next month.
Do you recall do you recall working on the early morning of March 26th of 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall where you were dispatched to?
Yes.
Where was that?
Coasters.
Upon getting onto scene, what did you observe?
I observed the individual in handcuffs, and I looked inside the establishment, and fellow officers and individuals working on an individual.
Okay. While you were on scene, or what was your role during that investigation on scene?
To secure the weapon that was sitting on the bumper of the vehicle, of a police vehicle, and to stand by and watch the suspect while everybody else was doing other stuff.
Do you know how that weapon got onto the bumper?
One of the officers placed it on the bumper.
Okay. What did you do with that firearm once you received it?
I made sure that it was safe, and I believe I called out the security number, or serial number, I'm sorry.
Okay. Do you recall what color that firearm was?
I just remember it was dark in color.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Granted.
Officer Houston, I am going to show you what is marked as State's Exhibit G. Is this the firearm that you held and made sure was safe on scene?
Yes.
Did you happen to take any pictures while you were on scene?
Yes.
Okay. Do my alphabet song here real quick. Officer Houston, I'm handing you a mark for state's identification purposes as composite exhibit K. Can you just look through those photos real quick?
How many are there, Mr. Gomez?
I believe there should be 6, Your Honor. What are those pictures?
Picture of the scene in which I responded to,
And how do you know what those pictures are?
because I took them.
Are they an accurate representation of the scene that you observed on that night when you were on scene?
Yes.
Do those pictures appear to be edited or altered or in any way different from the night that you took them?
No.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, the state would move state's composite exhibit K into evidence and would publish to the jury at this time.
No objection, Your Honor.
They're admitted.
Houston, if you could flip to, I believe it's photograph 6 in that collection, and could you just tell me what that photo is depicting? I believe it is the last photo.
A pair of orange sneakers or tennis shoes and a gray bag.
And do you recall who those two items belong to?
The suspect.
While you were on scene, did you find any evidence?
I believe I found the shell casing in a foosball.
Okay. And is that what is depicted in the 4th and 5th photos?
Yes,
And you were the one that actually located that shell casing?
yes.
While you were on scene, were you wearing a body camera?
Yes.
Officer Houston, I'm handing you what is marked as the state's Exhibit L. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes.
How do you recognize that exhibit?
There's the one you showed me yesterday that I signed.
And so have you reviewed the video that is on the VOC?
Yes.
Does that video appear to be edited or altered or any way different than the day that you took that body camera video on scene?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit State's Exhibit L into evidence and to publish at this time.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted. Is this also edited?
Yes, Your Honor.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this recording has been edited to remove portions that are not relevant for your consideration. You should take no notice of that in reaching your verdict.
cameras in there? Will you please find out, sir? Somebody tried to shoot me in that motherfucker, man. He tried to shoot me, so I took a gun from him, man. I tried to. How come I ain't whoop his fucking ass? Hey, listen, that's stupid shit, bro. Stupid shit. I walked through here earlier. Motherfucker tried to shoot me, I went to take the gun from him, and it went off in my hand. I just about whooped his ass with that gun, and he shot me and it flew off. Who the fuck got shot? Hey. Shut, everybody bring the food on that. Who got shot? Damn, I ain't gonna stop. I still had to whoop his ass.
Officer Houston, have you had the opportunity to fire a lot of firearms?
Yes.
Generally speaking, whenever you fire a firearm, where does the casing, where is it projected to?
It depends on the style of the firearm. It can eject right, or I'm sorry, left or right. Yeah.
All right, I have no further questions for this witness at this time.
Mr. Riosty.
Was Officer Albright the lead, the case officer at the scene when you arrived?
When I arrived on scene,
When you arrived on scene, or did she become the case officer?
she became the case officer.
And you were not the case officer, obviously.
No.
Do you give input to the case officer when about the course of the investigation, if you find something or have an idea that something might have happened?
Are you speaking in general?
In general,
Yes.
did you make any suggestions to Officer Albright that evening as to whether or not any particular investigative technique should be used?
I cannot remember.
You don't remember? Did you suggest to her that she should order fingerprints for the gun?
I can't remember if I did or not.
Did you suggest to her that she should order DNA for the gun?
I can't remember if I did or not.
Did you suggest to her that gunshot residue tests should be taken?
I can't remember if I did or not.
Did you suggest to her that ballistics should be run off the shell that you found?
I can't remember if I did or not.
Were you a more experienced officer at the scene that night than Officer Albright? Did you listen to some of or did you take any of the statements that were taken by the witnesses?
Not to my knowledge.
Did you listen to any of their testimony or read any of their written statements at the scene?
No.
Is it your experience that a 9mm, such as the weapon that was collected, that the shell would expend directly behind the shooter when the weapon was fired? Is that what generally happens? You had testified that it goes either right or left. Is it possible that it could have gone behind the shooter, like directly behind the shooter?
It depends on the make and model of the gun.
Do you believe that generally happens, or is it more likely that it would go left or right?
Based on the firearms that I've shot, they either go left or right.
How far, obviously the rounds aren't expended 20 feet or longer than when they're fired, the shell casings. How far of a distance are they when they're expended?
I'm not that experienced to answer that question.
But you wouldn't expect a shell casing to fly 10 feet from the weapon that it was, if it was expended right, it wouldn't fly 10 feet from the weapon that it was extended.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Overruled.
Again, it depends on the make and model of the firearm.
Did you search for any other firearms at the scene?
No.
Did you ask any of the patrons whether other individuals were armed?
No.
Why not?
It never occurred to me to ask if anybody else was armed.
So you didn't ask the bartender whether or not there were weapons behind the bar?
I really didn't ask anybody any questions as far as the witness or patrons in the establishment at the time.
Do you know if any other officers were asking those questions at the scene?
No, sir.
You mentioned that the black bag laying on the ground can be attributed to the suspect. Was the defendant's black bag? Do you understand what I'm asking? Did you take a picture of a black bag that was laying on the sidewalk?
In the picture, I believe it was like either black or grayish bag.
A grayish bag?
Yeah.
And you had mentioned in your testimony that you believed it was attributed to the suspect.
Yes.
Well, how did you make that determination?
Because it was in the vicinity of him where he was handcuffed or detained.
So you made an assumption that based upon its location that it belonged to the suspect or the defendant.
Yes.
When you did you assist in taking Mr. Ladson into custody?
As in?
Well, did you well, let me ask another question. Did you observe any wounds on Mr. Ladson when he was present at the scene?
Yes, but I can't remember the actual type of wound because I asked him if he wanted to have EMS to check him out.
Do you remember if he had a welt on the front of his face?
No, I can't remember.
if there was a welt on the front of his face in the video, that, in your video, would you defer to that?
Yes.
The video showed you taking the magazine out of the weapon and checking if it was safe and making it secure. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were there any rounds in the magazine?
I can't remember.
Unexpended rounds.
I can't remember, but judging from the video, I don't think there was any rounds in there.
So, if there was one shell casing and one round, then it's possible that Mr. LADSON only had one bullet in the weapon when he entered the.
I couldn't tell you how many rounds in there.
That's all I have. That's all the questions I have.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Houston, I've kind of freezed it here. Does it appear that the defendant here is wearing the shoes that you took in that photo?
Yes.
Does it appear that he is wearing the gray backpack that you took in that photo?
Yes.
State has no further questions, Your Honor.
Is the witness released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rioston?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe he can be released.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you're released.
Done for today?
Yes, sir. Good time for a short break, y'all? Okay, all right. All right, we'll take a comfort break at this time. Simply let the bailiff know when you're ready to resume, and we'll be at your pleasure. All rise for the jury.
Y'all can just leave your tabs at your seat.
All right, we'll be in recess.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their property. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown West. Give us a call at 850-398-3600. 5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
Back Home Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview's historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualifying heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
For more than 70 years, the sweet aroma of the Crestview Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street. Call 850-683-1045.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Man, I got this. Let's roll.
Fight fire with fire, take 1.
Have you been injured in an accident and need righteous representation? Call us, because we fight fire. Damn thing ain't working. Whoa! Not cool, bro.
I'm Attorney Coy Browning. Personal injury is no joke. Just ask him.
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and it's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
Back Home Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview's historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briarpatch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
For more than 70 years, the sweet aroma of the Crestview Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street. Call 850-683-1045.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Man, I got this. Let's roll.
Fight fire with fire, take one.
Have you been injured in an accident and need righteous representation? Call us. Because we fight fire. Damn thing ain't working.
Whoa! Not cool, bro. I'm attorney Coy Browning. Personal injury is no joke. Just ask him.
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
We're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and it's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just one block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
Back Home Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briarpatch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
For more than 70 years, the sweet aroma of the Crestview Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot
And if there are any objections, stop speaking immediately until you receive an instruction on how to proceed. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gomez, you may inquire.
Good morning, thank you for being here. Can you please state your name for the record?
I'm Gregory Hoffman.
Okay, and what is your current occupation?
I'm a paramedic for Okaloosa County EMS.
Okay, and how long have you been employed with the Okaloosa County EMS?
3.5 years.
Okay. What types of training and certifications are required to be a paramedic?
We have our ACLS, Advanced Cardiac Life Support, our PALS, which is our Pediatric Life Support, and then PHTLS, which is our Pre-Hospital Trauma Life Support.
Okay. In your during your time with Okaloosa County EMS, how many gunshot victims would you say that you have dealt with?
12 to 15.
Okay. Do you recall responding to a scene on March 26th of 2022 at Coasters?
I do.
Okay. Why were you dispatched there?
We had a shooting just occurred that came out at that address.
Okay. What did you observe once you got there?
We had a gentleman sitting on the ground next to the pool tables with PD applying pressure to his right chest.
Okay. Where did you observe the victim to have been shot?
Right upper chest with an exit wound out his back shoulder.
Okay. And whenever an individual is shot in the chest, what are some of the complications or concerns from your perspective as a paramedic?
Concerns internally are the major thing. We have our lungs, major blood vessels up there, as well as nerves.
Did you have an opportunity to actually speak with the victim personally?
Not personally.
How much blood was on the ground whenever you arrived?
Say a moderate amount of blood.
Okay. What happened once you guys arrived on scene what happened after you arrived on scene and you assessed or you observed Mr. Meeks?
We loaded him on the stretcher and then immediate transport to the hospital.
Okay. And is that the extent of your involvement with this?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Riosti.
Were you asked to inspect the defendant for injuries by the officers?
No, sir.
Did you see the defendant when he was there?
Yes, sir.
Did you notice any injuries to the defendant?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
Oh, not the defendant. Sorry, sir. The victim is what I did not see the defendant at all, sir.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Is the witness released?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. You're released. Your next witness, Mr. Gomez.
Your Honor, this time the state is actually going to move State's Exhibit M into evidence as medical records of the victim from HCA. There's a certification of medical records signed by the custodian of record. I've given that a copy of that to Mr. Rossi, and I don't believe he has an objection.
I do have an objection, Your Honor.
All right, please approach.
Dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street. Call 850-683-1045.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Man, I got this. Let's roll. Fight fire with fire. Take one. Have you been injured in an accident and need righteous representation? Call us. Because we fight fire. Damn thing ain't working.
Whoa! Not cool, bro. I'm attorney Coy Browning. Personal injury is no joke. Just ask him.
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
We're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and it's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just one block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
The objection is overruled and the documents will be admitted.
No, we're not going to, we're going to put them over the jury. We'll have to look at these documents during deliberation.
And say again the exhibit number.
States Exhibit M.
M?
M is in Matt.
Okay. And those documents have been admitted and will be available to you for your use in your deliberations.
May I state proceed, Your Honor?
You may, sir.
Next, the state would call Sarah Washington to testify.
Sarah Washington, please. Good morning. Please remain standing and raise your right hand. Madam Clerk, will you swear the witness?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Please be seated. And direct your voice to that microphone you see in front of you. Speak clearly and distinctly. It's important we're all able to hear and understand you, especially the jury seated to your left, and also the court reporter is able to make a good record.
Okay.
If there are any objections, stop speaking immediately until you receive an instruction on how to proceed. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Gomez, you may inquire.
Good morning, Ms. Washington. Thank you for being here. Can you please state your name for the record?
Sarah Washington,
And what county do you live in?
Okaloosa County.
How long have you lived in Okaloosa County?
Almost 5 years.
Okay. Do you recall an incident that occurred on March 26th of 2022?
Yes.
Were you at Coasters?
Yes, I was.
Who were you with?
I was with a friend, and then she left, and then it was just by myself.
When you were actually at Coasters, were you hanging out with anybody, or were you just
Yes.
hanging out by yourself?
Perry Connolly.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Perry Connolly.
Okay. Any time while you were at the Coasters, did you ever see the defendant, Mr. Michael LADSON?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you see him at?
The first time on the sidewalk before Coasters, and then when he entered Coasters.
Okay. What happened when he entered Coasters?
As soon as he came in, he pulled out a gun and he discharged it. He fired it.
Who, did he point that weapon at anybody?
The victim, I believe his name was Mr. Meeks.
Do you recall giving a statement to law enforcement?
Yes, I do.
I'm handing you what is marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit N. Do you recognize what I'm handing you?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to review the USB that is inside the envelope?
Yes.
Is that your signature on the envelope?
That is my signature, yes.
Does that video appear, or does that appear to be a statement that you made on that night?
Yes.
Does that statement appear to be edited or altered or in any way different than the day that you gave it?
No.
At this time, the state would like to admit State's Exhibit N into evidence and to publish at this time.
Objections? Mr. Riasti, any objections?
No objection.
It's admitted.
So it holds just as much weight. So let's do, so I'm gonna swear to it at the end. Yeah. So I just need you to, basically, I don't need you to talk to me. I'm gonna ask you a question, so you're just gonna talk to this camera. You wanna talk to me, that's better. Okay. You're just gonna whatever. Okay. But as much detail, or as little detail as you feel you want to, okay? Okay. So can you say your first middle and last name for me? Sarah Nicole Washington. Go ahead.
I was standing next to Perry, who was standing right next to the door, and I saw the gentleman come in with a small backpack, and as soon as he walked through the door, he pulled out a silver pistol towards a gentleman that was walking towards him with a fuel stick, and within seconds, once he pulled out the pistol, he shot it, and then I could just turn around and ran. My friend Perry picked up as soon as I happened to tackle him or go after he got the piece, that's all I saw. And then next turn around and ran towards the bar.
Everything that you told me is true, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Ms. Washington, I believe you stated that an individual had walked into Coasters and pulled out the firearm. How long from when that individual walked into Coasters until he pulled out a firearm?
To me, it was within seconds.
How close was that firearm to you?
About 3 feet.
Okay. So it was right in front of you?
Yes.
Okay. I think you mentioned that the individual was wearing a backpack. Do you recall the type or style of backpack that he was wearing?
I just remember it looked like a school backpack.
School backpack?
Yes.
Okay. I believe you stated there was a gentleman with a pool stick walking towards him. How was he walking towards him? Was it aggressive?
No, it was not aggressive.
Okay. At any point in time, from the moment that the individual walked into Coasters to the point that the gun was discharged, did you see the person who was shot be aggressive towards the person who fired the firearm?
No, I didn't see him be aggressive.
When the individual pointed that firearm, where was he pointing it at?
It looked like his head.
Granted.
Ms. Washington, I'm actually going to show you what is marked as State's Exhibit G. Does that appear to be the firearm that you saw that night? Is it safe to say that that's not silver?
It's not.
How did you react on that night? Were you shaken up?
Very. Yes.
Are there kind of bits and pieces that are blurs?
Yes.
Okay. Was the individual who walked into Coasters that night, pulled out the firearm and discharged it, is he in this room today?
Yes, he is.
Can I ask you to point to that individual and to identify an article of clothing that he's wearing?
Yes, he's wearing a white shirt with gray suit.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the victim is identified, or I'm sorry, the witness is identified, the defendant, Mr. Michael LADSON. Why do you think you described it as silver when you were asked?
Maybe the backpack was silver, or my family owns guns, so maybe I got that mixed up with what I know from what we've owned.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness again?
Granted.
I'm handing you what is marked as State's Exhibit K, and this is picture 6. In that picture, there is a backpack. Is that the backpack that you believe the defendant had on at that time?
Yes.
Okay. How would you describe that backpack?
I have children, so they've used it for school, so school backpack or sports backpack.
And what color is it?
It's black.
It's black? Take a look again.
Look, purple? Gray?
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Riosky.
Was that the first establishment you had been to that night?
No.
You had been out with a friend, you had mentioned?
Yes.
Were you drinking that night?
I had some drinks, yes.
Do you recall how many drinks you had consumed prior to this event?
I don't know. It's been 4 years, so I at least had to have 3 or 4.
Were you a regular at Coasters?
No.
You're not?
No.
Perry Connolly was your friend?
Yes.
And what was he doing at Coasters that evening?
He was the bouncer that evening.
Do you know how long he had been the bouncer?
I don't know. A few months? I couldn't answer that. I don't know.
But would you have, in the past, did you go previously to this event to Coasters to hang out with Perry?
One time before that I did.
Was he standing in front of you or behind you when this event occurred?
Who?
Perry Connolly.
I think he was to my left.
To your left?
Yes.
Do you know if he had a better vantage point with regard to seeing the events that occurred?
I don't know.
When Mr. Ladson, you mentioned Mr. Ladson pointed the firearm at Mr. Meeks. Was his back to you when that had happened?
No, his back wasn't to me. They were he was almost in front of me like this.
And you never saw Mr. Ladson strike you never saw Mr. Meeks strike Mr. Ladson in the face with a pool cue?
No.
Either before or after this event occurred?
No.
You never saw him turn a pool cue around and hit Mr. Ladson in the face with a pool cue?
No.
If Mr. Connolly testified that that's what occurred, How can you explain the difference?
Because I wasn't there when, after the shooting happened and I saw the victim get shot, I ran to the other side of the bar. So I don't know what happened after that.
If Mr. Connolly's testimony is that it happened.
Objection, facts not in evidence, Your Honor.
Sustained.
So you never saw him use the pool cue as a weapon?
No.
And the firearm, it was definitely not silver.
No.
Could that weapon that's in that box not be the firearm if you believe that it was silver?
No.
Why do you say that?
Because, like I stated earlier, I think I got it confused with guns that I've owned and my family has owned.
And did you see anybody else with a firearm around the same time that the firearm went off?
No.
You didn't see the bartender holding a firearm?
No.
You didn't see Perry Connolly holding a firearm?
No.
Did Mr. Meeks have a firearm?
No.
Those are all the questions I have.
Redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe you stated you observed Mr. Connolly apprehend Mr. LADSON after the gun was discharged?
Yes.
Did you observe Mr. Connolly take that firearm from Mr. Meeks?
No, I think I had run at that point. Okay. I just seen the action happen and then I ran.
How long had you been out, if you can recall, I know it's been a while, but how long had you been out that night before you actually went to Coasters?
A few hours?
Okay, it's about 3?
Yeah, I would say.
When you were at Coasters, were you on edge? Were you looking to see if something would happen, or were you just enjoying yourself?
I was just enjoying myself. Yeah, okay. That's it.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, is the witness released, Mr. Gomez?
I think I'd like to keep her just in case we need to recall her.
Right. You can step down at this
Thank
time.
you.
You're subject to recall. Okay, counsel, would you approach, please?
Backbone Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items.
Perry
We're
Connolly,
open Tuesday.
please. your right hand for me, please. Madam Clerk, will you swear the witness?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Please be seated. And direct your voice to the microphone you see in front of you. Speak clearly and distinctly so we can all hear and understand you, especially the jury seated to your left, as well as the court reporter in front of you can make a good record. Is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if there are any objections, stop speaking immediately until you receive instruction, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gomez, you may inquire.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Conley. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Sorry, can you please state your name for the record?
Perry Connolly III.
And what county do you live in?
Okaloosa,
Okay. And how old are you?
39.
Okay. And where are you currently employed?
Coasters, ice distributors.
Where were you employed, I'm sorry, on or about March 26th of 2022?
At that time, I was at Coasters.
Is Coasters located in Okaloosa County?
It is. It's down on Highway 98.
Okay. What was your role at Coasters?
So I worked the door, security, bar back.
Okay. Had you ever been a security guard or a bouncer before?
Yes, various locations in Okaloosa County.
Okay. How many times have you had to deal with, intoxicated individuals as part of your role as a bouncer or security guard?
It's part of the job pretty much, anytime I'm at work.
How many times have you had to tell people to leave or to remove them from an establishment that you're working at?
Multiple occasions.
Do you recall what happened on that night?
I do.
Okay. Before that night, did you know Mr. Charles Meeks?
I didn't know him personally. I had seen him at Coasters.
Okay. Before that night, did you know Mr. Michael LADSON?
I did not.
Okay. On that night, but before the incident, did you have an interaction with Mr. LADSON?
No, I haven't.
Okay. At any point out in front of the establishment, did you have to ask Mr. LADSON to leave?
I did before the altercation occurred. I asked him to remove himself.
Okay, so is it safe to say that Mr. LADSON was not welcomed back in Coasters on that night?
Yes, I did ask him to leave at one point.
Okay. Why did you ask him to leave?
He and a group of another gentlemen were arguing back and forth, and it just got too much, so I told him that he should leave.
Okay. Was the victim a part of that group of gentlemen?
Yes.
Was he being, did you see the victim, Mr. Meeks, being aggressive towards the defendant?
No, there was another gentleman in the group that was egging it on more, and I just tried to separate them and had Mr. Laston leave.
Okay. Before that incident occurred, about how long had it been since you had told Mr. Ladson to leave and separated the individuals?
At least an hour.
Okay.
Granted.
I'm actually going to put this up here. Judge, if I could have the slide. So I am showing,
Rotate that up, Andrew. And then you have to lift the arm up entirely.
technology. There we go. All right. So I'm showing, just for identification purposes, this is the first exhibit in the state's composite exhibit K. What is this picture showing?
That is the front door, the front side of Coasters, right there on Highway 98.
Okay. And where were you at? Were you more on this side of the doorway or on this side of the doorway?
Throughout the night or at what point?
I'm sorry, at the moment of the incident.
At the moment of the incident, I was standing right at the red pillar, the metal pole right there.
Okay.
And that's where I was.
Okay. What did you observe at that moment?
So normally we stand at the front door to check IDs when people come in, but it was about 3:30 and I had gone to take the trash out. So I was coming back and that's why I was at the second pillar. At that time I noticed Mr. Laston approaching through the window along the sidewalk, and he jumped into the door at that time.
What happened when he jumped into the door?
He immediately pulled a gun from his waistband and fired off one round. At that time, I rushed him, and I went for the gun, got the gun from him, put him in a headlock, and we pushed over towards the right side of the screen where the foosball table was.
So over here?
Correct.
Okay. First witness.
Granted.
Mr. Conley, I'm showing you what is marked as State's Exhibit G. Is that the firearm that Mr. LADSON had?
It looks like it, yes.
Is that the firearm that you actually took from Mr. LADSON when you apprehended him?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do with the firearm once you take it?
I got it from him, grabbed him, had him in a headlock, pulled him outside, and I had my knee on top of him, and then I just held the gun, called 911. The other bouncer and manager, he came over and helped me hold him down.
And forgive me if I've asked this, but how long from when Mr. LADSON entered Coasters to the moment where he pulled the firearm out and discharged it?
When he jumped in the door, it was pretty much immediate. He pulled the weapon, fired, and then I rushed him.
Did you happen to give a video statement to law enforcement while they were during their investigation?
Yes, I gave a written statement and a video statement that night.
Okay. I'm now handing you what is marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit O. Do you recognize what I handed you?
Yes, this is the video footage of that night.
Did you review the video that's on that USB?
I did.
Did you sign that envelope after you reviewed it?
I did.
Did the video that's on that USB appear to be edited or altered or in any way different than the statement that you gave on that night?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit Exhibit O into evidence and to publish to the jury at this time.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
And I'm trying to put it in my head so we can put this in a report. Alright. Shooter came into my vision walking from east to west. Was that on the sidewalk? Yes. Okay. You want me to write this in on the top? I'm recording so I can verbally I can take that. He entered the front door, stepped to is that the gunshot victim? Yes. Okay. She was victim. He slapped the gunshot victim in the chest. Okay, so he had the pulse, the guy who came in? Or was the... No, the guy who slapped, I believe he grabbed the pulse from him. Okay. Okay, because the victim was, he was at the shooting board, right? Yes. Okay, so he took the pulse from the guy, slapped him. Okay. Did you actually notice how he grabbed that gun, where he come from? His waist. He came from his waistband? Okay. Shot around. Alright, and then the guy we're talking about, we know who's in the car. But can you give me a description? 6, maybe 140 pounds on a good day, 140, 150 pounds.
Not good dental hygiene. They say tan complexion, Caucasian tan complexion. He's wearing loose sweatpants, white t-shirt. Yes, sandy brown, blonde hair.
Okay. Are you, what's your, do you work here or?
Yeah, I work the door.
Okay, so
I'll take his
you
trash
have
out. He had long line before, I just seen him. I think he was in suits.
Okay, so you, but he hasn't come in here.
He tried to come earlier, he got education, I told him he didn't leave.
Gotcha. Okay, and then is that, how did he get that marshal? Is that just from wrestling around trying to do it, or was that really before somebody kicked him? Okay.
I wait for him to become first, those are a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
I just look at most, the thing that was causing more damage.
Exactly, I agree. Are you in between the shooter and the victim? And did you notice what kind of gun it was?
Flat, slide of silver, I want to say maybe a Ruger.
You sort of heard the information you gave us your to the best of your knowledge? Oh, I appreciate it.
There was some talk, I believe, in your statement regarding the victim having a pool stick. Can you elaborate on what happened with that?
Yeah, so when the defendant jumped in, it all happened really fast simultaneously. I saw him pull the weapon and shoot, and then when the victim got shot, he actually hit the gentleman with the pool stick. And then I rushed him, and we ended up into the foosball table.
Okay, so at any point before the defendant shot the victim, did you see the victim be aggressive towards the defendant?
Not directly him, it was another gentleman.
Okay. Is the individual who walked into the bar, pulled out the firearm, and discharged that firearm, are they present in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point to that individual and identify an article of clothing that they're wearing?
He's sitting at this table right here wearing a gray suit.
Please let the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant, Mr. Michael LADSON. I think you had stated also that Mr. LADSON was kicked. When was he kicked?
After we got him outside on the ground, one of the gentlemen that was arguing just came out and got a sucker punch in.
Okay, but that was after he had fired the weapon?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Riasti.
So, Mr. Meeks, did you know him as Vegas, or did you just?
Yes, they call him Vegas.
And he was playing pool by himself, or was he there with friends?
Looked like a couple of guys he was with, yes.
Were you allowed to smoke in the bar?
No, you can vape, but not smoke. You gotta go outside.
So would Vegas and his friends go outside to smoke?
Yes, I think they were. They were traveling inside and out and from the front door to the pool table.
Is that when, and Mr. LADSON was outside the whole time?
Not the entire time. Earlier in the night, he did come in, but before I asked him to leave, and then eventually he was just hanging out on the sidewalk.
You had seen some of the people, at least one of the individuals with Mr. Meeks, be aggressive towards Mr. LADSON?
Yes, both groups were arguing back and forth throughout the night, and that's why I had to break them up.
Were punches thrown?
Not before that time, no.
So one of Mr. Meeks' friends never pushed Mr. LADSON or shoved him?
No, I don't believe so.
Why didn't you eject, if they were arguing, why didn't you eject Mr. Meeks and his friends also?
I felt like I made the decision that Mr. LADSON was being a little bit more aggressive. He seemed a little bit more intoxicated, so I asked him to leave.
Has anybody ever pulled a firearm or a knife on you while you were acting as a,
Not at Coasters, no.
in any other establishment you're acting as a bouncer?
No, not a firearm, no.
Do you arm yourself when you come to,
I carry my own pocket knife.
you carry a pocket knife? Where you don't carry a gun?
No, I do not. Not allowed to.
There was another bouncer there you mentioned and a manager.
Yes.
Was he armed?
No.
Do you know if the bartenders have firearms behind the bar at Coasters?
I do not believe any of them do.
When you left, is it fair to say that you left to get trash and do the final?
Take the trash out, yes.
This was at closing time.
Yeah, around 3:30.
And you have other duties other than manning the door? You mentioned you were a bar back also.
Mainly just manning the door. Bartenders handle that. We have another guy who rows around, does the ice and stuff like that.
But you were doing the trash duty at closing time?
Correct.
So at one point, you didn't have your eyes on either Mr. Meeks and his friends or Mr. LADSON?
Not me personally, but part of our procedure is we let the bartender know that we're about to leave the door, and they keep an eye on it.
All right. So you weren't there to see whether or not Mr. Meeks or Mr. Meeks's friends antagonized Mr. LADSON prior to him entering the bar?
They had earlier that night.
But I'm talking about the moments before this incident occurred, this shooting that you've described.
Yes, I saw Mr. LADSON immediately jump into the door. So if those immediate seconds before, I did. But are you talking the time that I went and took the trash out? I couldn't see.
Did you take a deposition in this case? Did you sit for a deposition in this case?
Yes.
Were you sworn in that deposition to tell the truth?
Yes.
If I might approach the witness, Your Honor.
Granted.
Page 8, mine's 23. Mine's 20 through 25. If you could read lines 20 through 25 and then 1 through 9, how loud?
Question.
Objection? Sustained.
If you could just read the to yourself.
Okay.
Is it true that oh, go ahead. Sorry about that. Was that your sworn testimony at that time?
It looks like it, yes.
Do you recall making those statements?
Yes.
And in that deposition, you stated that you remembered Mr. Meeks striking Mr. Ladson in the face with a pool cue. Is that correct?
Yes, after he shot him, yes.
And Attorney Nopes asked you whether or not you knew whether or not the striking in the face was before the shot or after the shot. And you answered, it may have been. Is that correct?
My best recollection would be from the information that I gave that night. But like I said, he shot and then he was hit, then Meeks hit him with the pool stick.
But you mentioned that Mr. Ladson grabbed the pool stick from Mr. Meeks and struck him after he shot him and
It was almost simultaneously. As soon as he shot him, Mr. Meeks hit him with the pool stick. Obviously, it was to protect himself.
So Mr. Meeks hit him with the pool stick and not Mr. Ladson taking the pool stick from him and striking Mr. Meeks?
No. As I said, Mr. Meeks hit him.
And you don't... Could it have been that he struck him in the face with a pool cue and then the shot went off?
No, I don't believe it was like that. He shot, I heard the round go off, and Mr. Meeks hit him with the stick, and then I rushed him.
If I might approach, I can take that.
Granted.
So the injury to Mr. Ladson's face was due to the pool stick and not being kicked?
I can't recall. If I'm going to say it, probably from the kick.
When Mr. Meeks struck Mr. Ladson with the pool cue, was it with the pointy end or with the butt end of the pool cue?
Neither is with the actual face of the stick itself.
And so you're standing at the pole looking northward through the door. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Ladson comes in and faces, he's coming in a southerly direction.
Mm-hmm. And then moves east towards Mr. Meeks.
He turns to his left, which is east.
Yep.
And you said shortly after that, the round was expired.
Yes.
Did you see the shell casing come out of the weapon?
Did I see the shell casing? I don't think so. I don't remember.
And the foosball table, where was that?
It was on the west side of the bar establishment, so on the right side. If you're facing north, it's on the left side.
That's all the questions I have.
Read your act.
Yeah, Sean, just a couple questions. About how long does it take you to throw the trash out, or take the trash out, I'm sorry?
2 bathrooms, 5-10 minutes total.
And how long from when Mr. Ladson pointed the firearm to when he actually discharged the firearm?
It was immediate.
Did you observe either the victim or the defendant exchange words in between that?
In between that time, no.
I just want to make sure that I asked this. When you apprehended Mr. Ladson, you took the firearm from him?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Is the witness released?
Not yet, Your Honor. He may be subject to recall.
All right. You can step down at this time, but you're subject to being recalled. Thank you. All right, your next witness, please.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would rest its case.
All right. Seems like a good time for a recess then. That seem right, Mr. Rios, Mr. Gomez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we'll excuse the jury at this time. All rise for the jury, please.
LADSON Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview Historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you
Your
to
Honor,
stop
at this time,
by.
I'd like to make a motion for a judgment of acquittal based on the grounds that, 2 grounds. One, that the state has not proven its case beyond to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt by credible evidence. It was testified that the officers testified that they came in, and Officer Albrecht specifically stated that she was shown a weapon in which she assumed was the defendant's weapon. She did no independent investigation because she just believed the 2 eyewitness testimonies that were given. She ordered no fingerprints. She ordered no DNA. She ordered no gunshot residue tests. She ordered no ballistics. She oversaw the taking of statements from both eyewitnesses who had testified, and there were significant inconsistencies with the statement that with their statements that should have clued her in that their testimony may not be truthful or credible, and she did nothing. She took no actions as an investigator to do any independent investigation to verify their statements, and so the entire case of the state rests upon the veracity of the 2 eyewitness testimonies, because there was no independent investigation. And for that reason, I believe the state hasn't proven its case beyond to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. And in addition to that, there was testimony from both Officer Albrecht and Officer Houston that Mr. LADSON had a wound on his face. In addition to that, Perry Connolly testified that he also saw a wound on the victim's face. Perry Connolly testified that he saw Mr. Meeks and his 2 companions go outside to take smoking breaks and antagonize Mr. LADSON to the point where he felt necessary to take action by ejecting one or the other of the parties, and he chose to eject Mr. LADSON. He stated that Mr. LADSON entered the bar, and at which time he pulled a firearm and shot Mr. Meeks with it. But he also testified that Mr. Meeks struck Mr. LADSON square in the face with a pool cue, which is an assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. In his deposition, he testified that that it could have happened at this before. He couldn't remember, but on the stand today he testified that he believed it was after the gunshot. I believe that there's enough evidence introduced to that a reasonable jury would find that that Mr. Ladson, if he did indeed fire a weapon at Mr. Meeks, that the discharge of that weapon was justified by Mr. Meeks's action and the action of his friends in antagonizing him throughout the night, and then brandishing a pool cue at either before or and striking him either before or after the gunshot. The simple having the pool cue in his hand was enough. The statute and the case law allows that there need not be any actual striking, but the brandishing of the weapon is enough to instill a fear in Mr. Ladson, a well-founded fear that he would be either killed or suffer great bodily harm at the hands of Mr. Meeks, based upon his holding of the pool cue at the moment he entered the bar, and that there's no evidence to refute the fact that Mr. Meeks may have enticed him into the bar at the moments before this incident occurred. So based upon those reasons, I ask that the court dismiss this case by issuing a judgment of acquittal.
Response.
Yes, Your Honor. I feel, for example, much of what the defense said is a question for the jury, namely the veracity of the witnesses. That is a question for the jury to decide. Both of the eyewitnesses, while there are some inconsistencies of the statements, such as Ms. Washington's description of the color of the weapon, she also explained why she may have thought it would be silver. We also saw where in his statement, Mr. Connolly on that night actually perfectly described the weapon as a black gun with a silver slide. He actually perfectly described what the defendant was wearing by the blue sweatpants with the white shirt. Furthermore, Your Honor, the state feels as though through the evidence that was presented in the form of the body camera from Deputy Albrecht, the firearm itself, the single shell casing, the testimony from multiple people that a single gunshot was fired, that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt and most certainly to a point where a jury could find the defendant guilty of each of the attempted second-degree murder, and we feel as though we have proven each of the elements beyond a reasonable doubt necessary to secure that conviction. And so we would respectfully request that this court deny the motion for acquittal, motion for judgment of acquittal.
Rebuttal? Any rebuttal argument?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. The standard is the court must view the evidence in the light most favorable to the non-moving party and any reasonable inferences from that. And the court must come to the conclusion that there may be no view of the evidence in that light by which the jury could reach any other verdict other than an acquittal. That's the standard. Do you both agree that's the standard?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Conflicts in the testimony, veracity of the witnesses are not for the court to determine on a judgment of acquittal. That is for the jury to determine. The court cannot reach the conclusion that no view of the evidence, the court cannot reach the conclusion that the jury could reach no view of the evidence other than an acquittal, and therefore the motion for judgment of acquittal is denied. Do you expect to put on witnesses, Mr. Riasti?
At this point, I've discussed my client testifying on the stand, and I have advised him that for this particular jury trial and in these particular, I've advised him against testifying, and he's agreed with me up until this point.
Okay. Well, let's have you and your client at the lectern then, so we can quickly do a discussion about that, please. All right, Mr. LADSON, if you raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm testify truthfully in this matter under penalties of perjury?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You put your hand down. Now I'm going to ask you some questions about your discussion with your lawyer. I don't want you to tell me the advice he gave you, except for one question at the very end, and it'll be obvious because your discussions with your lawyer and the advice you gave are absolutely privileged. But it's important that I understand in that in your decision that you've talked about certain things. All right, so you heard what your lawyer said just now about your decision to testify or not to testify.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you had discussions with your lawyer about your testimony in the case?
Yes, sir.
Has your lawyer explained to you why it might be a good idea for you to testify in this case?
Yep.
And has your lawyer explained to you why it might be a bad idea for you to testify in the case?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is he, in going through those things, has he answered all your questions about the positives and the negatives of both of those decisions?
Yes, sir. I believe he has.
All right. And after doing that, have you come to a decision about whether you wish to testify or not?
Yes, sir. I don't think it'd be a good idea. I don't.
Okay. And now this is the only spot where I want you to tell me about your lawyer's advice. Is your decision to not testify consistent with what your lawyer has advised you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. All right. Any further questions you think are pertinent for the court's inquiry, Mr. Riasti or Mr. Gomez?
Nothing from the state's perspective, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Well, with that, I guess we should do our lunch recess. And I would say practically what we would do is allow you to rest in the presence of the jury, Mr. Riasti, and then go straight into our closings. Does that make sense once we get back from lunch?
Yes, Your Honor.
You agree, Mr. Gomez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so we'll do that. Now, we've gone through quite a few things on the jury instructions. Do we believe we need to do anything else for our charge conference?
The state doesn't believe so, Your Honor.
Mr. Riasti, you think we're done?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right.
We've gone over the jury instructions a number of times, and I don't believe there's any issues with them remaining.
And we've looked at the updated verdict form and the changes that the court requested, and you believe those are now appropriate?
Your Honor, I was provided the updated verdict form at the beginning of these proceedings, and I've reviewed it, and I believe it's your changes were needed, and the verdict form is fine as it is right now.
Okay.
Judge, before we break for lunch, can I ask a question? It's just mainly for prepping for closings. I can't remember, when you read, because I know we read the instructions before we actually close, are part of those instructions, do you go over the verdict form at all, or is that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So actually, good question, Mr. Gomez. What I'll do is I will go through all the way down to I'll stop at 3.12, and then you'll do your closings. And then I'll discharge the folks.
So they find whether, first they find the highest.
And
that the defendant is guilty of second-degree murder, and then they do these. If not, then the defendant is guilty of manslaughter.
then I'll do the deliberative instructions on 3.13.
And just so that me and my legal assistant are clear, you kind of want us to wait to print out the final instructions until after, in case you notice any little errors that we need to adjust?
I think that's prudent, because as I'm reading them and you're following along, we're going to find those bracketed things that we missed, or the his or hers, or them or theys, or whatever it is. So I think it's just prudent that if we do
Mr.
it
Rossi
that-
actually just found one thing in the verdict form, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I will change that. It needs to read on B, the defendant is guilty of attempted manslaughter by act, not manslaughter by act. So I will make sure to change that and provide copies after lunch to Your Honor and to Mr. Rossi.
All right, I'm changing it on the one that I'll read for them. All right, all right. All right, anything else before we take our lunch?
That'll be it, Judge, I think, from the state.
Mr. Riosti?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be at our lunch recess.
When should we be back, Your Honor?
Is there lunch here?
Yes, very much.
Okay, so let's just call it 1 o'clock. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right, very good. See you then.